Hey there. Today, I want to talk a little bit about a newer feature from ChatGPT, which is their web search functionality, and why I personally like it better than Perplexity. 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 There we go. One, it's easier to pronounce than Perplexity. I'm just kidding. If you've used Perplexity for web search before, you know what it is. If you haven't, head on over to perplexity.ai and check it out. It is a good tool. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. But and after you watch this video, check out ChatGPT web search if you haven't already, and you decide that maybe you think I'm off my rocker or just maybe a couple points here or there that you think are better for Perplexity, make sure you throw those in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation. We can all learn from each other and put some salient points in the comments below about the two different options that are available. Now, today I'm just going to walk through, it has one feature set, so there's not much to walk through there, but I want to walk through a couple examples so that we can see the difference in real life between ChatGPT and Perplexity. Sorry, ChatGPT web search and Perplexity. So the first thing I'm going to do is head on over to a split screen here with the two of them pulled up. Now, I've already spiked the video by doing a example search before on ChatGPT, and then we're going to run through a Perplexity now too for a very important reason. We didn't do it. I didn't set it up before, but we can walk through and see the differences. So on my left, ChatGPT in web search mode. By the way, to get into web search, I'm not going to do a 9-minute video about how to do this. You're in ChatGPT. You want to be in ChatGPT 4.0. And then down here, there's this cool little button. If you click on that, it turns blue. Got to be honest with you. I've tried without clicking the button and putting the same prompt in. I'm getting the same web search. So I don't know if smashing the little glow button is just there to help us feel better about ourselves or something, but give it a try. See if you get different results. I didn't. It did the same thing for me. Keep in mind, you want to be in ChatGPT 4.0 though, because if you're in the other ones, you won't have the little guy down there, or some of them, you try to click it, it doesn't do anything. But just so you know that. First thing I did, I went in here and I'm like, I want to do a search on my website, try to make it better, do some common SEO things, and use web search plus the AI functionalities of ChatGPT to help me out and improve my website. So I put a prompt up here. What are some keywords for my website that can rank for, and what ways could the site be improved to create better visitor engagement? And I put that in ChatGPT with the web search button clicked, and it ran through and it gave me some results. Real quick here. One thing it did is it gave me some potential keywords because that's what I asked for up there. And it also gave me some ideas, some strategies for better engagement, which is what I asked for also. So check, did a good job there, which is one of the things I like. It's succinct. The other thing I like about it is the sources that show up down here. If I click on that, there's up and out of the way. You'll see it obviously crawled parts of my website to get information from it. It also went through some different things. It looked at some organizations and companies that help people improve their websites and grab some articles, information, some examples, that type of thing to make my website better. But I like the fact that the sources are down here and just out of the way. To be honest with you, I don't care what the source is that gave me these 7 things. I'm more curious about what the 7 things are. In fact, if I go and click on one of those things to find out more about interactive content, you know what I end up doing is I end up going down a rabbit hole of information and not completing my task, which is going through the process of doing things to improve my website and use web search on ChatGPT to do it. So that's one of the things I like about it. Take the same prompt here, and this is really important. Sorry to throw the spoiler at the beginning of the video, but I went over to Perplexity and I put in the same web search right here. What are some of the keywords, so on and so forth. And the source, it got that, my website, and then it told me it's unable to access the content on my site. Uh, I don't know about you, but if I'm using an AI tool to do web research functionality, being able to access the website is key. And now people can say there must be something wrong with your website, this and that and the other, but ChatGPT got my website. So using ChatGPT for web search, especially for this functionality when I'm looking at a specific website, it automatically is going to get the thumbs up versus Perplexity, which is not even going to get this. It's going to do the job. But we're not going to stop there. I'm not going to leave Perplexity at that because there's other things I'd like to talk about. What it did instead is Perplexity gave us some generic things that I can do to make my website better, which is part of what ChatGPT did over here too. It gave me some of the generic functionalities. You see, we're getting the same clear CTAs, some of the quality content, all that kind of stuff. But the other ones up here, it did know that what my site is, educational resources, case studies, and ChatGPT did optimize its answers for that. But so we're not going to stop because that would be a really boring video and doing a comparison. But what we are going to do is I'm going to say, okay, the next prompt for ChatGPT is ChatGPT. We'll get that right. To effectively position my site, it's beneficial to examine what are some of the competitors I have, right? And so I can't get competitors over here because in Perplexity, it couldn't look at my site. What I can do though, I'm going to grab my keywords, right? You get those keywords. I'm going to come over here to Perplexity, ask a follow-up. By the way, similar to that sources thing down here, where if I look at it, I go down this rabbit hole. Perplexity, what seems like a really cool feature, this related thing here, can really be a distraction for me. I don't know about you all, but okay, I'm going to ask the first question. Actually, in this case, I know what my next prompt is going to be afterwards because I've got it right here. What are some competitor websites? If I come over here and I start to see this, I can easily go down a rabbit hole of things I didn't want to do. That's the negative. And the positive, if I didn't know what I wanted to do next on ChatGPT, it just stops it. I had to put this next prompt in. It didn't give me suggestions. Could I type in and ask for suggestions? Yes. Did Perplexity give me suggestions? Yeah, it did. And some of these suggestions are pretty good. Like, what are the most competitive keywords for the consulting industry? I'm going down that next step already on my own over here in ChatGPT. So that's pretty cool that it did that. Unfortunately, it's going to be using competitive keywords for the consulting industry and not competitive keywords for my industry because it can look at that. But I'm going to do that anyways and put in those keywords that we got from ChatGPT and go into the next step. And so it's going to go through based on these keywords, some insights and strategies, right? And then I'm going to say, okay, based on all that, what are some competitor websites? And based on that, it gave me results, as did ChatGPT. Some are similar, some are different. OpenAI is never going to be a competitor for me. And I came back on the ChatGPT side and said, okay, let's scale this down. And I'm not going to go through it all, but I said, let's get some small consulting firms that did that. And that wasn't quite where I wanted to go yet. So I said, how about some firms that help companies become AI ready and adopt AI strategies? Because that's what I do. And again, not enterprise businesses, because I don't help enterprise businesses with that stuff. And so I'm going to copy this. No, I'm not. I'm going to type it because it doesn't want to copy today. Once I put that prompt in, then I'm going to see what Perplexity gives me back here. And on the left here, I've got my ChatGPT results, and ChatGPT gave me some information, a couple sites. And on this side, it gave me some also on Perplexity, and they're all very different. One thing about Perplexity, again, that I'm not as excited about, I really like the clean UI that we have on ChatGPT. I do have the sources here, but everything else is open. When I come over to Perplexity, I see some videos and things at the top. I'm getting the Coca-Cola AI ad, which has nothing to do with what I'm doing at all. And in this case too, I've got the screen shrunk down. So true, it is on the top here on full screen. It's going to be a sidebar. But either way, it reminds me too much of Google results. And I feel like I'm getting ads on the side, especially when they have nothing to do with what my search was whatsoever. But over here, yeah, here's the word AI, not helpful. But sorry, I'm being very rude today. But I do want to mention there are some significant things that I'm not as excited about. But it did give me results, and it gave me companies as far as which companies they were. And I've gotten some images here, but I'm not really getting much more info. I can't click on the name of the company. Over here on this side, I can come in here and click and get the links to these competitor websites. So I do have that going for me in ChatGPT. So overall, my gist of the entire thing with 10 minutes into this is I like the clean interface. I like the less stuff. I like the fact that I actually can search things on the web that Perplexity can't do. And it brings all that information in for me in a pretty succinct manner. I'm not going to go through the entire script of what I did here to do my website, competitor improvement research, all that type of stuff, SEO improvement. I'll do that. I can do that on another video. I can send you the prompt too and the results. But see, it's clean is what I'm saying. It gave it to me in a very clean format, and it was easy to work with without sort of noise around the edges to that. So personally, I like the new ChatGPT web search better results, better UI, a little bit easier to work with. But I'd love to hear what you think. Let me know in the comments below what things you like better. If you like Perplexity better, I'm not gonna be upset if somebody says I really love the related section down here. I get that. I would see the value in that. Let me know that information also, and then we can have a fun discourse in the comments and below the video here about that. If you enjoy these videos and the things we talk about here, make sure you mash the subscribe button below, click the little bell to be alerted when new videos are available, and also anything AI that you'd like to know more information about, feel free to visit me at coolwordconsulting.com. It was at the beginning of the video and throughout in as we looked at it. Or also, if you'd like to see my blog on all things business and AI related, head on over to businessAIinsights.com.